There's a form of narcissism that doesn't look arrogant. It looks spiritual. It looks healed. It looks like healing. It looks like evolving. And the reason I want to talk about this today is because spiritual narcissism, it doesn't start because people have bad intentions. It starts because of pain. And then it quietly turns growth into superiority. It's very silent. And most people start out with good intentions when they're on their spiritual journey or just in their journey in life, and sometimes don't understand how their evolution has made them slightly more narcissistic. In this series I'm calling Awaken to Your Life on Purpose, we're going to talk about spiritual narcissism and a whole array of other things, but this is video 1 of the series that I am doing about spiritual awakening. If you've ever felt confused, judged, dismayed, subtly less than in spiritual spaces, then this video is going to be for you. And if you've ever wondered or worried about if you're actually being a spiritual narcissist, then this video is going to be for you too. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Anna. I am a certified transformational mindset and spiritual life coach. I'm also a tarot reader here on YouTube and just all around seeking human being. And I wanted to really dive into the spiritual journey and see if I can figure out how to go through this journey myself and share my experiences, and also whatever I learn help to support you in spiritual and practical ways that you can apply to your everyday life. As a certified transformation and mindset coach, I work with a lot of people that are on a spiritual journey. Those people are very self-aware, extremely intelligent people, and they're still stuck in patterns in their life and can't figure their way out. And I think I speak for us all when I say we've probably all been there. I know me personally has very often in my life. So I'm not coming at this topic from the outside of like somebody who's never had these experiences and doesn't understand it. I'm coming from a space of love, curiosity, my own journey, and sharing what I learn with you guys. I've lived inside of it. I've watched it happen in my communities. I've seen it with clients. And yes, at times, definitely within myself. The early part of my journey, because you get excited, and this is why it's so hard to see if you're having this experience or if other people are being spiritual narcissists. So what is spiritual narcissism? Spiritual narcissism is really when personal growth stops being about truth and it becomes more about your identity, the being of an identity instead of embodiment of an identity. It's when spirituality becomes a means of a way to protect the ego instead of soften the ego, instead of downgrading the ego. It doesn't usually sound like I'm better than you. Spiritual narcissism is kind of gentle. It's a vibe. It's sometimes the energy behind what a person's trying to say to you. And it might sound like, oh, I've already healed that. Oh, do you even love yourself? Have you been on a self-love journey? That's a personal favorite of mine. Oh, I'm past that level. Or, oh, it's just your shadow. Even things like you're low vibration or you're operating from fear. Spiritual narcissists tend to tell you what is going on with you instead of being inquisitive and asking questions. It's more of a like pointed sort of energy. What's happening psychologically here is that the ego just finds another costume to put on. From a neuroscience perspective, identity is one of the brain's primary safety mechanisms. When we experience trauma, instability, or emotional chaos, the brain looks for structure. Literally, it looks for structure. And spiritual framework can provide that until it starts to become rigid. It's beautiful otherwise, but once it starts to be this hard set of rules, it becomes challenging. When somebody builds their entire sense of self and their identity around being awakened or being spiritual, what happens is the nervous system now equates that as being right and being safe. So it's not really healing what's happening there. It's simply shifting the identity, but it's not getting to the core of the work that we want to be doing. So to these people, anything that threatens the identity feels dangerous, even nuance, compassion, curiosity. So disagreements with them can feel like they would express that they're being attacked. Questions become disrespectful, like, how dare you question me? I'm the authority on this thing. Complexity, anything that's complex, if it's not broken down in their terms where they understand it, it becomes lower consciousness. Now, true spirituality is not about ascending away from humanity. It is literally about descending into it, into the human experience. We are lucky enough to be spirits in this meat suit, having an amazing physical experience on the planet. That's helping us. It's teaching us. It's growing us. And for me personally, it just feels weird to talk to people, and this is my experience, when they're so above all of this. It's almost like, are you even having an experience of life? Or are you so dead set on the fact that you're so beyond all of this that you're not having fun anymore? And every authentic spiritual tradition teaches humility, not hierarchy. Teaches presence, not performance, compassion, not comparison. How many times have you seen people on their stories or their reels and they're just practicing? They've always got to show themselves meditating, giving money and food to people to help people. Like, they're proving their worth, they're proving their value, they're proving their spirituality to everybody. And for me personally, and no judgment, but that doesn't seem very spiritual. The moment spirituality begins to make you less curious, less kind, less compassionate for yourself and others, and less grounded, something's just going sideways. Growth doesn't make you untouchable. It actually makes you more accountable. And I had this experience when I was younger too. And because I just felt different from everybody, I actually have a lot of clairs. I have clairaudience and clairvoyance and a lot of different things. And so I have these gifts. And I always felt that they made me weird. And after I began my spiritual journey, when I got a little bit older, I started feeling kind of like that know-it-all, right? That sense of like, well, I know what I'm talking about because I have things that you don't. And so it can be a very thin line. And I had to catch myself and say, Anna, you need to take a step back and look at this realistically. You might know things that other people don't know, but that doesn't mean that you're the all authority on everything. Humble yourself, because there's still so much more in the world and in the spiritual sense that you don't know. And I've seen people bypass grief and anger and boundaries and then call that enlightenment. I even did it myself. I even found myself trying to spiritually bypass actually doing the work because I had the sense of having ascended, when really at the end of the day, I was just trying on a new outfit for my ego. Here's some simple self-checks that you can use, no shame, just to check in with yourself and see, like, am I on that borderline? Am I beginning to go in that direction? When somebody challenges you, when they challenge your words, when they challenge your thoughts, notice your body before your thoughts. How are you feeling in your body? Do you feel open? Do you feel angry? Do you feel like, who the hell are you to talk to me about that? You know nothing, Jon Snow. Do you feel tight? Do you feel elevated? Do you feel dismissive? Do you feel curious? Do you feel grounded, even if you're feeling uncomfortable? Awareness with compassion is growth. Awareness with contempt is your ego in spiritual clothing. If your spirituality is having trouble and can't sit with your regular human emotions, like your own or anybody else's, this is incomplete. Now let's talk real quick on how to really spot spiritual narcissism with people. We touched a little briefly, but I want to be able to give you some tools so you can understand the kind of personality that you're experiencing. I want to talk about patterns and not necessarily people. It's not about labeling, it's really about being discerning. Number one, they're always one step ahead of you, consciously, energetically, karmically. They'll say things like, you'll understand when you heal more, or when you get to where I am, or they'll say, I've already moved past that. They could even say things like, well, you're still operating from ego, that's why you don't get it. Pattern number 2, emotional bypassing disguised as peace. What I mean by that is they don't get angry, they don't grieve, they don't react, they just sort of have no emotion. And that's just because a lot of these people are not regulated. It's because emotion has been labeled like lower vibration for these people. True regulation of the nervous system allows emotion to move through it. It does not suppress it. Number 3 with patterns, lack of repair. This one's actually really critical because one of the clearest signs of spiritual narcissism is the inability to repair. If harm is caused, the response isn't curiosity or accountability, it's spiritual justification. Like they will begin justifying everything they do. That's your trigger. You're projecting. I'm just holding a mirror for you. It's never real accountability. Spiritual languaging shouldn't be replacing apologies. Okay, so this is the person who is unwilling to look at themselves, unwilling to assume accountability or responsibility for what they say, what they do, and how it makes other people feel. So just let that one sink in for a second. Number 4, confusion with boundaries. So they expect access to you without consent because they believe their insights and what they know, which is bigger and better than you, it gives them permission to say what they want, tell you what to do. And this is something that just mirrors classic narcissistic entitlement, feeling like they have the right to say what they want to say or behave how they want to behave without consideration of how it might make somebody else feel. Number 5, devotion over discernment. So this is like questioning them will feel like betrayal. For example, the person might get very upset if you start asking questions like, I saw you went to meditation today. Well, what exactly are you studying? Can you explain? Can you break it down for me? And maybe they just kind of shoo you away like, oh, why does that matter? I'm doing my own thing. You get these weird sort of excuses. You never really get the truth. And you could get a little bit of anger from the person because you're questioning them. Like, why would you question my devotion? You saw that I went there. Why are you asking me so many questions around it? It's possible they're thinking in the back of their mind, wow, I might get found out that I'm not actually this amazing spiritual person, right? And like at the end of the day, any spiritual framework that is discouraging questioning it is not spiritual. It's just literal ideology at that point. The neuroscience and the psychology behind all of this. Let's talk about that for a second. From a psychological standpoint, this often forms when someone heals just enough to function. They tend to become spiritual narcissists when they're healed just enough so they can get by, but not enough to feel safe from being wrong. Ego doesn't disappear during healing. It actually evolves. You don't eliminate the ego. And I understand the statement, kill your ego. And I get what that's about, as probably many of you do, but you actually evolve. Healing is much different than putting on a different ego. If humility isn't practiced, insight becomes your identity, and then the identity becomes defended. Not the actual healing, not the actual change that you've evolved through. Certainty will calm an unsafe nervous system. And curiosity, it really requires us to feel safe. It's actually harder to do the work than a lot of people think it is. It's really not an easy thing. It requires a lot of humility, a lot of being able to sit with yourself in places that you never knew you would end up going to, and to be able to question yourself, question your actions. In coaching, we have this saying in the 5 steps of mastery, the willingness to be responsible for everything. And when I talk about the spiritual narcissism, I feel like this is something that many spiritual narcissists never really get to, is that willingness to be responsible for everything. In that They've taken that real journey. They've been able to really sit. It's no longer about the ego, like just because they have a spiritual experience. They went out to the woods, they went on an ayahuasca journey, whatever. They're eating magical things. That doesn't make you spiritual. I get that those experiences are extremely powerful, but there's a thing called integration, and true integration happens when we're able to really truly sit with the question, am I willing to be responsible for everything in my life? Am I willing to be responsible for the parts of me that I love and the parts of me that I don't love? Now, sometimes I feel like spiritual narcissism happens when people feel powerless. Spiritual identity gives them some sort of dignity or control. Problem isn't the healing. The problem is when the healing stops before the humility actually begins. And I do understand what it's like to feel powerless. I can name 10 million times in my life I have felt powerless. And if I said that it didn't come up for me every once in a while, I would absolutely be lying. But that's what the spiritual journey is. It's not about, you're healed and you never feel it again. I think if you don't have the experience of actually feeling that again and understanding that, it's about making a new choice and understanding the nervous system process and all of this, then you're missing some of what that deep healing can really look like. So how do you protect yourself when you're dealing with somebody who might be a spiritual narcissist? We talked about what they're like and how to spot them. So how do you protect yourself and your energy from them? Here's how you stay sovereign without being cynical. Watch behavior, not language. Watch people's behavior, not language. And I want to preface this by saying, use this everywhere in your life. Use these tips everywhere in your life on how to protect yourself from spiritual narcissism, from people who are just trying to perpetuate a thing over and over again, bad negativity patterns, whatever you want to call it. And this is to empower you. It's not to make fun of them. It's not to victimize you either. This is just literally my thoughts and giving you tools to support you. As I said, watch the behavior, watch the consistency. Anybody can sound and look conscious, especially the looking part. They love to dress the part, but consistency is what is key. What's the experience you're having with somebody over and over and over again that you can consistently say, this person really is putting in the work. This person really is about what they say that they're about. They're not just dressing the part. Number 2, notice how you feel after you've had interactions with people. Do they lift you up? Do you feel expanded? Or do you feel completely diminished by this person? Do you feel like, God dang, there's just more shit, that something's really wrong with me? Notice how you feel in your body as well. Do they make you ask yourself great, powerful questions that make you want to dive more into your healing journey? You love yourself more, want to understand more, or do they make you feel shame, guilt, blame? Number 3, check your body, your nervous system. Check your nervous system. It detects hierarchy like faster than your mind does. How does your body feel? Do you feel comfortable with this person? Do you feel like you need to shrink, like you can't say stuff? How does your actual nervous system feel? Number 4, don't try to diagnose. Don't do any of that. Distance is a complete sentence, and you can do distance. You feel somebody is very spiritually narcissistic, you don't have to be around them. You have the option to say no, period. You don't have to diagnose them. You don't have to try to make them something they're not. Like, if you get it, if you see the signs, you can act accordingly, whatever you feel is best for you to do. I don't think it's necessary to always be in somebody's face and tell them who you think they are, or diagnosing them like you're a spiritual narcissist. So these people, they're either going to go on the journey for real and figure it out, or they're not. Let your life and your actions be the feedback that those people need to hear, that those people need to see, in the hope that maybe they'll want to make those changes for themselves. They'll want to experience more humility, or express more humility and more compassion in an authentic way. So in closing, spirituality for me personally that cannot sit with humanity just feels incomplete. Awakening isn't about floating above others. It's not about what you wear. It's not about your clique of plastics. It's about standing firmly inside of yourself without needing to be above anybody. So I really hope that this video helped you today. This channel really is for the people who want spiritual growth without delusion, depth without the ego, spirituality that actually works in real life practical tools coupled with neuroscience, coupled with coaching, coupled with things like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, manifestation, all of these things. I'm doing a lot of my own personal journey again because for me personally, this is an ever evolving door. It's a revolving door, I should call it. It's a revolving door that you just go through, and sometimes you make it all the way around and you're like, yeah, this is great for a while. And then something else comes up, you know. Life is very much for me like peeling back layers of an onion, and you never know what you're going to get. But my commitment here for myself and for you is to do everything I can to give you that spirituality, practical tools that help to make things actually work in your real life. We're not here to ascend away from reality. We are really here to inhabit it, to live it, embody it, and do it in a conscious way so that we can truly experience the beauty, the joy, the depth, and the love and the growth that life has to offer us. If this video helped you at all or fed your soul or just made you smile, please don't forget to give it a like, share it out to your friends, come on back and see me for more, and look out for my next video in this series. I hope to see you guys again soon. Enjoy your journey. Bye.